Have you ever wondered what would happen if those spiders in your house grew larger and larger? Yep, this is that movie. So Eight-Legged Freaks was a movie that came out back in 2002, and it's kind of like a family horror comedy. Well, I say it's a family horror comedy only because, like, based on when I was watching it, it kind of gave me that horror vibe, but also like family feel, if that makes sense. So in this film, you basically have like a trucker driving, and then he's driving around with this toxic waste, and the toxic waste like falls into like the river. And I think what happened was toxic waste got onto like the cockroaches. One of the characters in this film took the cockroaches and fed it to his spiders in like a place he was staying at. He keeps like bare spiders. Ain't no way in hell, yeah, I'm ever keeping a bunch of spiders in my house. Since the toxic waste got onto the cockroaches, and the spiders are obviously eating these cockroaches and ingesting the toxic waste. So obviously with this guy that has like the spiders in his house, he's very like fascinated by spiders and just how they operate and stuff. And you also have this kid that kind of visits him here and there. He typically goes over to this person's house to hang out and talk about like spiders. But later on in the movie, these spiders end up expanding to like massive, gigantic, disgusting looking spiders, and oh my days, it just made my skin crawl, fam. Like when I was watching this movie, the whole time I was watching this movie, there was just so many scenes where I was just like, I just felt so dirty and just kind of wanted to go in the shower. Think about it, yeah. We have spiders in general that most of us don't like, right? Imagine seeing like a massive ass spider, yeah, disgusting little feet crawling, that tappy tappy, you know, noise and stuff. So if we're starting with the visuals, because obviously this came out in 2002, I can't lie, I will say the CGI is fairly decent for its time. Obviously, like I said, it came out in 2002 in it, so within that time you can imagine that things weren't that great when it came to CGI. So a lot of the time they kind of had to, I guess, practice making it in a way where it's not too in your face. What I mean by that is, so you'd get scenes where the spider will kind of just jump out at someone, but you won't see like the full body of the actual spider. I thought it was smart. I don't know if that was intentional, but maybe it was, because obviously we don't want to see the spider always close up, because then the CGI would be so obvious and look, I guess, terrible. And I'm not really too sure if like there was like practical effects in this film. Maybe there was, because there were scenes where you'd see the spider's arms like yank someone out. I couldn't tell if it was like a practical effect or if it was like kind of like CGI. I really couldn't tell. Maybe it was like a mix of both. But of course, yeah, we do see the spiders up front and up close. I can't expect the CGI to be so good in 2025, watching it in 2025, you know what I mean? So based on the fact that this movie was kind of like a horror comedy, the acting, I guess, was like tolerable to where it made sense. It kind of fit the vibe of the, I guess, filming it. At the end of the day, we came in to see spiders, you know what I mean? But then again, at the same time, you still want the acting to be somewhat decent, which it was. There was like certain scenes where the spiders came across as like kind of like Looney Tune characters, where they kind of seemed a bit goofy. But I'll be honest, though, it kind of worked though, because there were certain scenes that I found really like kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie to you. A lot of times I'd giggle a lot, because like it was just so corny in a good way. When they would have like spiders that attack a human in it, you would see the corpse of the humans, and oh my goodness, because you could easily put that corpse in like an actual horror movie and think to yourself, oh my god, that looks petrifying. Let's go, yes. But to me, whenever I thought of like spider movies, I always thought of like Eight-Legged Freaks. And it's so strange because I literally heard no one talk about this movie, not really anyway. And I really do feel like it's a good underrated movie that still, in my opinion, still ages well, and you could still watch and think, you know what, that was actually pretty good, you know. It's basically just focusing on like all these spiders attacking random civilians. A lot of the movie in the final act kind of takes place in like a mall. And yeah, you got a lot of familiar actors in this film. You got like Scarlett Johansson, you got the guy that played the younger version of Daredevil in Ben Affleck's Daredevil movie. You also have the person that played Dewey in the Scream movies. The main character in this film is kind of like, I guess you could say, no one. I mean, the spiders are, but then it focuses primarily on Dewey's character. I know he's not called Dewey in this, but I don't care, we're gonna call him Dewey. And you also have the sheriff, who's hot as hell. Those are like the characters they focus on a lot. This could easily have been like labeled as a horror movie. It showed a lot of like, not gory scenes, but gory as in where you see a gore scene where it could have been filmed in like a bloody way, but you can see the spiders do stuff to the humans, but you don't really see that blood in it. So you can tell that they weren't trying to make it into like an actual horror movie, which is why I feel like they added that the whole goofy Looney Tunes vibe to the spiders, and then added the comedic stuff to the characters. And I feel like it's not dated at all. You can still watch and enjoy it. I definitely would recommend it to pretty much anyone that likes what if type of films, you know what I mean, and also like horror stuff. But yeah, man, it was a fun watch, man. I really enjoyed myself watching this movie. It was really good. It's literally like a apocalyptic movie regarding spiders. So instead of having aliens or zombies, it's basically what would happen if spiders grew large and decided to attack humans and, you know, eat humans. But anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this, you know, movie. If you hated it, if you loved it, or if you've even seen that. Oh, disgusting, isn't it? But you still want to watch a spider movie even though you hate spiders. Weird, isn't it? Weird. In a bit, man.